right, my friends, welcome back to another episode of Build Across America, coming to you from Graham, Texas. This is most close to home for me. We are about 200 miles north of where I live in Austin, Texas. And as you can see, it is a hot, sunny day, but I love this part of Texas. If you look directly behind me, there's our deer blind out in this field over here. It's gonna be about 100 degrees here in the summertime. But here's the deal, if you don't know, the overnight lows in Texas are often just shy of 80 degrees. So it's not like we can throw open our windows and let the nighttime air cool off the house. This is a difficult climate to build a house in. But not only heat, we also have humidity and rain. You know, we get about 30 inches of annual rainfall, maybe 32 depending on the year here in Graham, Texas. So we got to worry about rain, and it gets crazy humid in this part of the world. It's typically in the fall, upper 60s, 70% humidity when it's still 80 degrees out. So that's the really muggy days. We're gonna have to think about what this builder is gonna do for dehumidification and air sealing. Now we're about to go meet a builder that builds very different than what you might be used to around the country. This is a hybrid builder who builds with both steel and wood in a type of construction you may not be familiar with, but us Texas guys know what a Barndominium is. That being said, let's go meet Josh Helm of Texas Best Construction. Build Across America, let's get going.
Build Across America, a Build original series, is brought to you by Arkland, Builder's First Source, Huber Engineered Woods, Pella, Truss, and ViewRail.
Hey friends, Matt Reisinger here, and if you don't know me, I'm a builder down in Austin, Texas. And before we jump into today's episode of Build Across America, I want to say a big thanks to Truss. Now, if you're a builder, remodeler, or trade pro watching this, let's talk about something that's been a pain point in our industry for way too long, and that's getting paid and paying your team. And that's why I'm excited about Truss. It's an all-in-one banking platform built just for construction pros, and it's become a total game changer for how I manage money on my projects. With Truss, my clients can pay by ACH, credit card, or check, whatever works for them. Now ACH, totally free, and credit card fees, well, they get automatically passed to the client. And check this out, there's no hold time on mobile check deposits, so I get paid faster and my cash flow stays solid. Both pretty dang important. Now when it comes to paying subs and vendors, Truss also makes this super simple. One-click ACH, and they'll even mail a check for you totally free. No more hunting for envelopes or stamps. You can also issue unlimited charge cards for your crew, set real-time spending limits, approve purchases, and get automatic receipt reminders to keep your books clean. It honestly feels like if Amex built a reward system just for builders like us, that would be these guys. Plus, Truss syncs with my accounting software, and it's FDIC insured up to $3 million. No monthly fees, no account fees, and no ACH fees. If you're still stuck in the old ways of doing business, I think it's time to level up. Check out Truss. It'll make running your business smoother, smarter, and way less stressful. Guys, big thanks to Truss for sponsoring this episode. With that being said, let's jump back to Build Across America. Let's get going. Check out this sweet welding rig. He's got 3 welders on there. And man, look at this. This is a big old building. I can't quite tell though, is this steel or wood framed? It's got zip on all the sides, but I see some steel purlins sticking out. We're visiting Josh Helm with Texas Best Construction, who's well known for building a bomber Barndominium, but this does not look like your typical Barndominium. Josh, you in here, brother?
Hey, what's going on, Matt?
Holy cow, Josh! This is not your average Barndominium project.
This is definitely not the average. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, dude. Look how big this place is.
This is grand for Texas right here.
No doubt, and Texas is big, and this is big. What do you call this thing?
This is a sports Barndominium.
Okay.
And this is a design that we're building for Stacy Lynn, actually, is the designer.
Okay.
And it's a higher end build that we're doing out here, but we're excited about it. We thought, hey, this is one that you've got to see.
So sports barndominium, meaning like, is there going to be some sports equipment in here? Is this a gym? What is this?
We've got a little bit of it all here. We've got a full workout facility that's going inside with living quarters up above. So we have some of this is considered heated and cooled space. And then this is going to be a full-blown, full-court gymnasium.
Full-court basketball gym?
Full-court basketball.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome.
Yeah, so we got a lot of big plans going in here. Of course, a lot of natural light. But like I said, the design is a little bit more of it's a single slope, which is kind of a popular look.
Yeah, so when I look at the structure though, I love the hybrid approach. Like we've got some steel structure, which I'm assuming is the actual bones of the house that are supporting, or barndominium in this case. But then talk to me about the wood as well.
Okay, yeah, so like we were talking a little bit earlier, basically there's this framing method that we use in here called monopoly framing.
Monopoly framing, I haven't heard of such a thing.
So this is what we're trying to accomplish here, and we have another example of it where we've done it as well, which hopefully we'll be able to show you guys that project as well. But this is where we're framing all of the wall systems, and then we're coming back and attaching our overhangs.
I love it. So fantastic.
And those are actually getting bolted in as we go.
So as I look at the steel that's coming up on both sides, you got an I-beam and an I-beam, and then this roof beam that connects the two. That's pretty heavy I-beams, aren't they? That's not lightweight steel.
So this is 68 pounds per foot. This is a 2-foot I-beam, a little bit heavier duty than we normally use.
Wow.
Primarily because of the spans that we're doing. You know, I always like to tell people when it comes to free spans, that's where the barndominium really has its advantage, right? When you're trying to cover a lot of territory.
Sure. Wood would not span that far.
It would.
If it was trusses, maybe you could.
Yeah.
But still, this is a pretty big span. This is at least, what, 40, 50 feet wide or more?
We've got 54, somewhere in that range, foot of span.
And then what's our distance on this building?
I believe overall we're going 138 foot, something like that.
Gosh. So 54 by 138. And in the center, it is all clear and open span.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, of course, free span is our typical game, but this is a little bit bigger than typical.
Yeah.
So
now back to the monopoly framing idea. When I see that steel I-beam come up and come over, there's nothing sticking out to form a tail.
Right.
So that now your wall framing, which is wood framing, comes and connects. And walk me through, let's actually walk over here.
Yeah.
Walk me through what these are called purlins, correct?
Yes, these are your wall girts.
Which is like a C-channel basically, right? So this is hollow, you can see it if you look up. And this is a heavy gauge steel. And it looks to me like there's a shear tab that got welded on here that holds that on into the I-beams.
Yes, so all of this is welded up. We do use these tabs here that we'll attach every purlin to. And then this is all structurally good by itself.
Yep.
So everything that we're adding really to this even adds additional strength as well to the overall structure.
Makes sense. And then you've got just a standard 2x on the flat, and it looks like you've screwed that 2x in from the outside with a self-tapping screw.
What we use there are 2 3/4 tech screws, which you can get at any of your hardware stores, but those are coated tech screws. We like to use at least 2 just in case of any mechanical failure or any problems there.
Makes sense.
At every junction, we like to do that.
And then on top of that, the whole outside of the building is wrapped with Huber zip system.
Huber wood zip system.
I love it.
You know, we've been using zip for the last 5-6 years and have had a lot of really good results. Matter of fact, at our black gold barndominium, which we're going to get a chance to take a look at, we achieved some really good blower door score over there with just the zip system.
How about that? That's awesome.
No sheetrock, no insulation, nothing.
That's amazing.
Just the zip. So, you know, we just feel a lot more confident about what we're doing with it. So
that's fantastic. So then back to the monopoly framing. The zip forms the air barrier. That's also your water barrier. I also love this right here. If you can see, I can drop my hand in between here because this 1.5 inches is spaced off. And then talk to me about how you insulate this cavity.
So in typical fashion, like in our shop areas, a lot of times we may not go to this extreme, but because this is all going to be climate controlled, air conditioned, we're going the extra degree for, this would typically be a shop, but it's a gymnasium, obviously.
Sure.
The reason why we kept with the steel in this space was because of the size of span,
the openness,
and the open walls that we're trying to accomplish here.
Yep.
So it was just already kind of a tool in our tool belt, which we went with. But here you're going to see us run these sleepers on the outside as well as the inside, so that we can run our sheetrock and all that. So it's kind of like a double built wall.
It's a hybrid frame, is what it is. Yeah. But this allows you to get insulation behind the steel, so that we have very little chance of that steel ever condensing. Right?
That's right. Our conduction is at a minimal concern now because we have a thermal break with the zip system, which is, if I'm building this for myself, this is what I would want to do.
Totally.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
And essentially what I've got here is a metal building structure that's inside of a wood frame structure.
Yeah, and it's interesting how you've kind of taken a hybrid approach. It's sort of commercial, sort of residential. You showed me the renderings earlier on this. I mean, this looks like it could be a super high-end gym in the middle of LA somewhere, right? With a big ass fan over here to cool the players down, and then a full complex in the other kind of portion of the sports barndo. This is incredible, man. It's built bomber. It's built structurally incredibly strong, but I also love your focus on airtightness, on comfort, on durability. This is a really neat project.
Yeah, and that's the advantages with the Barndominiums is you get a lot of flexibility, as you can imagine. All of the same approach goes to all of our concrete space, so it's an engineered foundation, and you could literally build this out any way you wanted to after the fact inside, because it's essentially all the same structural support.
So will you epoxy this floor and then paint some lines on there for the basketball, or what are you going to do?
This one's going to have a full wood floor.
That's awesome.
Getting the full deal.
Holy cow, that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. And
I love it.
So we'll have a goal on each side. You know, the whole 9 yards right here.
I would be willing to bet that someday there'll be a pickleball edition added to this court as well. Someone's going to want to play pickleball in here at some point.
It's a popular sport.
It really is. Oh man, this is cool. How about we walk over this way and we'll show you the rest of the sports bond. Follow us.
Yeah. So as we come in here, Matt, you can see some of our framing methods change.
Yeah, so this looks like typical residential 2x6 framing, right?
It is typical except for the roof span structures.
Okay.
So we still have all of that buried in, which you can see.
So this I-beam's coming through the floor and going up to bare the roof.
That's right.
Interesting to see. I guess I didn't catch this before. You got a embed plate.
We do.
That you welded to later. So none of the steel all came in later.
Right.
And do you have a separate steel crew that you use all the time, or?
It's our crew. We have our own fabrication team.
Wow.
So we
So
do.
that trailer I saw up front when I was walking in, that's your trailer.
It's our trailer, our crew, and matter of fact, most of the stuff that you would see, like that we've put out on our channel and stuff like that, all of these projects have been that same crew.
Dang, that's amazing.
So just like move
And you have to bring a crane in when you're dealing with these I-beams? What do you do?
Well, on some of the smaller structures, we can actually use like a skid steer. We have like a teleboom you could put in there.
Yep.
But we have a couple of like SkyTracks that we got on this project.
You did this job with a SkyTrack?
We did it with the SkyTrack.
Dang, that's incredible. How far out can you boom on a SkyTrack?
Well, it's 40 foot. This one didn't really require that type of boom. We were worried about, spanning it out. So we stayed pretty much under it.
Okay.
And just lifted straight up. But because we did have heavier, I think each I-beam that we were lifting was like 4,000 pounds.
It's pretty heavy.
Yeah. And a lot larger steel than we're used to dealing with for your typical spanning structures.
Right.
Had it not been a single slope, it would have, wouldn't have had to be so big.
Got it. And then once that's in, then you bring the same guys, a different crew in to frame this?
We have a wood frame crew, typically very similar crews, work on all those jobs. So what you see is what you get. So it's kind of a typical repertoire There are some things that are a little bit different on this project, but most of it's this is pretty typical to what we normally do.
Yeah, it's really straightforward. I mean, this is really just infill framing in between some structure. And so this isn't necessarily bearing load from roof, but it is bearing wall load and helps with shear.
That's right, it does. This goes all the way up to the main frame, and we do actually tie in. You'll see some of the caliber shots that we shoot into the steel going all the way up.
Okay, so you're tying the wood into the steel that way. And then these floor trusses, which you ordered, or are those trimmable?
We did order, but it's not anything. It was probably something they had at stock, you know, at Boise or something like that. But we got it from our typical lumber yard, so nothing over the top there. But having the flexibility with our hybrid steel frame, being able to go and have the coordination efforts to have steel framers and wood framers.
Yeah, and as I look this direction, this really makes a lot of sense. You've got an I-beam right here that makes this big opening. You could have put an expensive glue lamb in there or, you know, a triple LVL, but while your crew's here, it was no big deal for you to just drop that I-beam in.
That's right, a couple more trips to the lumber store, which is only a couple 100 miles away.
Not very fun. Yeah, not very fun.
No, I mean, it just takes the coordination to know what you're going to put there. But we did use a little more steel for some of this, primarily because we have some really big spans with the floors.
Yeah, and also I just noticed this, would that be considered a box beam?
Yes.
What am I looking at there? Where we've got that header over the door.
It's like a tubing is what that is.
Okay, it's tube steel, but it also gives you a little bit of racking strength probably in the building.
Yeah.
But you don't care about thermal bridging there because it's conditioned space to conditioned space.
And we do have some space on the other side because this is like 4-inch width and it leaves a little bit of an opening on the other side.
Oh, that's cool.
Which we will be able to add in there if this was on an exterior wall for sure. Here, I think most of this came flush to this side. Yeah. But we got to get back into that wall anyways for what we're going to do for our basketball goals. So
gotcha.
We're not 100% done there. We're about 90-something% complete with framing.
Yeah.
But,
so sports barn, I'm assuming this is not house space we're looking at. What's actually happening in these big spaces?
So all of the house space for living quarters is upstairs.
Okay.
And there is a big, large lounge area up here as well. But that's what's kind of special about the Barndominium company, Stacy Lynn, their designs. They're kind of a premium designer. They really have a way of making all this kind of go together. We got all kinds of stuff down here, but this is primarily going to be a big workout facility right in here. So we're going to we added some floor plugs in here for treadmills.
Oh, right here, yeah.
So they'll be able to set that up here. We'll have a workout like bench station, all that kind of stuff over here. And then over in this area, we've got 2 full walk-in bathrooms.
Yeah, I'm seeing the recessed floor for a shower on there. And what's this plumbing for?
So this is for a cold plunge.
Oh, the cold plunge. Yeah. How cool is that?
And right next to that, we've got a sauna. So
dang.
A lot of recovery. And I believe we'll have really neat. It's going to be pretty sweet.
Yeah, this is really sweet.
There'll be some lockers that go under those windows areas right there.
Super cool, man. It's so interesting how you walk into this space and you wouldn't know you're in what I would consider a barndominium, right? When I think of barndominiums, in Texas, by the way, just to let people know, most of the time when people do barndominiums, it's all steel. And maybe there's some interior framing that's 2x4s, let's say, for just the interior framing, but the whole outside is steel. And so what I love about what you've done here is by utilizing that zip system sheathing, let's say in the big space where the gym is, when he sprays in his closed cell spray foam, let's say in there, it's attaching to the wood and he's got basically a wood structure, but then any cladding he attaches to the outside, whether it's steel or whether it's fiber cement, whatever you want to use on the outside, that can get replaced in 40 or 50 years and not have any touch. It won't touch at all that spray foam layer, whereas most barndominiums are metal framed with metal skins on the outside. And if you do spray foam, you're spray foaming on metal, which means if you want to reskin it, it's really hard. You might be able to skin over top of what you've got, but you're never going to take that metal off.
Right, and that's some of at least our principles about how we build is to build with intention, number one, so that we don't have to look over our shoulders worrying about window flashing, details, door, these type of deals. And so we feel like that's the great thing about framing this way. It gives me as good or better than I get in some of your typical, say, production builds.
Oh, it's way better. I mean, you're utilizing all the Huber zip system. You're basically doing zip 2.0, like we made a video years about, where you're utilizing tape where it makes sense on the seams. You're using some liquid flash between the foundation and the framing. And the bottom, I noticed in the bottom part of the house, you're using some liquid flash even on your nail penetration, just as a belt and suspender. So the face of that zip is, as Steve Basic would say, the Alamo. That's the last stand for both water and air. And then everything goes together like a typical residential building.
Right, and so another detail we do around the perimeters is we use some Lexel under the bottom part of our seal plate.
That's awesome.
And then we will come inside and do that as well on the inside. So we have this liquid flashing on the outside. We have the Lexel underneath with our typical seal.
Belt and suspenders.
Yeah, and cover those areas, but it's just like you never know where you're gonna have a failure, so you try to cover what you can. But
so good.
Some of the things that's changed, I think, with Barndominiums is we're starting to realize there are better ways to go about doing it.
Yep.
And although it's a really trendy thing, what we don't want to do is to take a really excitable trend or something that everybody wants and now just create a wake of trouble down the road.
Yeah, it's short-term versus long-term thing. And this is a building that can easily get remodeled in 50 years and be in great shape.
Absolutely.
100 years from now. Speaking of which, before we leave this project, we've got one more to go to, but I really want to see a few of those details on the outside where you bolted on, let's say, awnings and overhangs and that sort of thing. Can we show these guys some of those details?
Let's take a look at it.
All right, we'll meet you out front, guys. All right, Josh, I wanted to talk to you about your Monopoly framing because I'm not used to seeing this hybrid steel wood. So it looks to me like the zip went up, and then if I'm understanding this right, that C channel got bolted on after the zip was on.
It's a little bit of intention behind it, obviously. We just feel like it makes it easier, number one, to put it together.
Yeah.
And because we have the steel frame crew here with the wood frame crew, then they just wait to frame that out until after this wall gets framed.
Super smart.
And we come across the back side.
Heck yeah.
And add this receiver channel and bolt these in directly to the other side. So,
I love it.
We're able to do that all the way across. This makes it
so this awning's
a lot
the same
easier
right
to
here too, right?
Right.
Where the garage doors are into the sports area. And then talk to me about the overhang on the roof as well.
So the overhang, we did cantilever the I-beams on out. We did use a smaller I-beam there, but we welded that on. And we were able to lower the purlins down, allowing for the sleeper studs and the zip system. We'll go over that primarily because we're going to be using a standing seam roof on this build. It'll be a black standing seam roof in Texas.
I'm a big fan.
Everybody loves when I say black roof in Texas.
I have a black roof in my house. As long as you insulate it correctly, you're fine.
That's right. So we'll have the zip on the top and the bottom of all the overhangs.
Okay. And then what do these walls get then?
This will get a MAC metal. I've got a little piece of it right here.
Ah, here we go. Staged a sample for me right here.
So we get this through Acme brick, but this
it looks like wood grain if you look at it, but it's actually a metal.
It's got a really nice board and batten.
That's pretty.
With a grain to it. Now we won't be using this particular color, but this is the color which we'll use a smooth profile that goes under all the soffit areas.
Oh, that's cool. So you got a bunch of color families in here.
This house will get the smoked birch, but this is going to be really, really nice, which you'll get to see a little bit of the soffits, what they'll look like on the other house.
Okay, so MAC Architectural Metals. I don't know these guys. I'm a big fan of metal on the exterior, though. It makes a lot of sense.
This is a full steel siding.
Yeah.
Just kind of goes along with the
on a hybrid building. Yeah. That's pretty awesome. Is this kind of typical residential style windows and doors going in here that haven't arrived yet?
We do have the Anderson, I believe, E-Series that we're using here.
Oh, killer.
So we'll have that. We've got a variety of different needs in certain rooms, obviously, but wish those could have already been here, but we're just finishing up framing, so we've got a little bit ways to go. We'll have a lot of Anderson windows going in on this build.
Fabulous, man. Josh, super fun, man. You built a bomber Barndominium. I'm super impressed, dude. I love it. Monopoly framing, hybrid approach, great insulation, great waterproofing details. You're going to keep that Texas heat out of this building.
We
and
are.
It's going to last for a couple generations. I mean, that's the best of all worlds in my mind.
Absolutely. And I mean, this is a very large example of what we do on smaller scales day to day, you know,
Yeah.
on typical
Now, you got
barndominiums.
another project for me to see, right?
I do.
But it's not next door, so I think we need to get some barbecue locally for dinner.
That's right.
I'll grab a hotel room and we will meet you guys tomorrow at another one of Josh's projects. So that being said, let's get some barbecue and I'll see you tomorrow.
So Matt's a little bit ahead of us. We're gonna go see this other project, but I thought I would tell you a little bit about my story. I got started pretty early on when I was right out of high school, did a little bit of college, but my dad had a construction company doing overhead fire protection, and I helped him a little bit before I ventured out into like roofing sales and started traveling and doing hailstorms and insurance work. Ended up working hurricanes as well. Did that for a little while my kids were young. We had 2 small kids at the time, traveled for about 7 years, and my wife and I ended up starting our own roofing business. We did that as well for a while until the economy just kind of changed our direction. Started doing more commercial roofing and a lot of exterior type siding construction like EIFS, stucco, manufactured stone. Started doing a lot of that type of work as well as residential work. We ended up starting Texas Best in 2016, where we first planned to just do some remodel and paint a few houses. That's what I told my wife, at least. Meanwhile, we were building our first Barndominium. I had already been building some conventional frame homes. When we built the first Barndominium, it was really just for family needs for my in-laws. We were building a place for them. And next thing you know, we had people stopping by saying, hey, can you build us one of those? And it became a demand for us. Of course, we were already really busy doing a lot of remodels, but this just became kind of the next thing. And today, this is solely all that we do is build Barndominium homes. And so it's pretty crazy how far it's come. We can have anywhere from 10, 15 projects going at any given time. So these are just a couple of example projects that are a little bit more on the higher end spectrum, and we're definitely excited to be showcasing it here on the channel. We're about to catch up with Matt, so let's go show him this other project.
Oh my gosh, this property is unbelievable. Here comes Josh. Josh, man, this is pretty out here, dude.
Thank you.
I love it. How about this house, too?
This is a small little project we've been working on.
Yeah, I can tell, on a small little piece of property as well.
Yeah.
That's literally Texas idyllic. I mean, we've got all these beautiful fields around us. This house perfectly sited, but there's some great views out of here.
Really are.
And this is also a Monopoly framed house like your last one too, right?
Yes, and we were able to do some special things that we're not usually doing on, say, some of the typical builds, but the Monopoly framing was our first crack at that, as well as using the zip R sheathing on the exterior.
How about that? Dang. And I think you told me the blower door scores here are pretty incredible, and we've got an incredible attic to go see too, right?
And we have a basement on this project.
Oh
so
my gosh.
For Texas, I mean, I think that's pretty special.
A little unusual. All right, guys, we'll see you inside.
So you can't see it now, Matt. Previously, we installed all this zip R sheathing, and then we came back and attached the porches on after the fact.
Gotcha. So the face of the zip R is our air barrier, water barrier. That's complete from foundation all the way to ridge. So we can basically have our continuity between all those without having anything poke through it.
Right.
And then everything bolts on through that basically, right?
Right. Yeah, we were able to have like a structural I-beam on the gable ends, as well as some additional structure that we were able to bolt into on the faces as well.
Gotcha. And what size zip R did you use in this project?
This is an R6.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
So we were able to add that complete thermal break on the exterior. Essentially, I've got, like I said, a steel building inside of an all wood frame, and in this case, insulated on the exterior.
Yeah, that's amazing. We've got an amazing thermal envelope here. And then what did that yield for air tightness? Were you able to get a relatively good blower door score? Remember, code for your area is a 5 ACH 50, so you were able to get below code, I'm assuming?
We did really well, surprisingly, because we don't usually get to grade it this way. We don't have zip on the roofs all the time.
Yep.
But here we did, and so we tested just the zip system at a 0.64. So that's what we did.
Gosh, that is super low. That's incredible.
Not bad for not really trying, you know, I guess. I mean, we were trying, but it wasn't expected that we would do that.
I mean, between the zip and the Monopoly framing, that really shows the power of you taking good building science principles and integrating that with the style of construction that you do, Josh. I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you.
Well done, sir.
Yeah.
Let's go inside, because I hear the air conditioning's on and it's cooler in there.
Yeah. Check this out, Matt.
Oh my gosh, Josh, look at this space. This is definitely the volume you get with a Barndominium, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a roughly 2,500 square foot great room.
Wow, that is definitely the definition of a great room.
The focal point is our isocurn fireplace, which is pretty grandiose for a space like this.
Yeah, I would say so. You could lay down and take a nap in that fireplace.
It's that large.
That's gorgeous. And that's the isocurn, which makes it really easier on us as builders. Looks like a true masonry, but goes together very, very quickly.
Yes.
What's the intended purpose on this house, Josh?
So our clients hired us because this is more meant to be, they've had this property for some time, since the 90s, and had a house out here already, which we tore down and in place built this project here, which is more meant to be more of a generational home.
Oh man, that's cool. So in other words, bring the whole family out here, enjoy it, and then pass it down to generations, which is why they hired you guys. I love it.
Yeah, and we have a lot of duplicate top rooms, but we also have a lot of bunk space through here. So
interesting.
There's a lot of flexibility as well for the place, because they've got cattle, they've got hunting potential.
It's high fenced, and they've got some exotics out here. I saw a few around the fence line.
And they bail the property as well, so there's some revenue type purposes, so they have ranch managers, things like that, that'll stay out here.
That's cool. I love this great room, and thank you for turning the AC on. I heard you just did a start and check last week, but it feels to me like those registers on that high gable right there are throwing all the way out to me. I feel great right here.
Yeah, a special treat. We've got Ken Davis here, who's going to explain to us some of his unique design planning that he did for this, because he's really the wizard behind this particular.
Is he? Awesome. I'll look forward to meeting him.
Setup.
I bet that the attic is beyond that gable too, guessing, because you've got all that ductwork. And I know, because you Monopoly framed it, that all of that attic is part of your air conditioned envelope. So now that's part of your AC space of the house.
Yeah, we're really excited to do some special things on this build. You know, you don't always get to kind of go the distance with some of your performance. And this became one of those type of projects which the client kind of let us go
Fabulous, man. I love it. So as we walk this way, I mean, the first thing I'm thinking is a nice fan up here would be really nice. You got one planned for that?
HVLS fan going up above here, which will be like a 12-foot fan.
Okay.
Which will distribute and help with some of the...
Is that a big ass going up in there?
It's a big ass fan.
Man, a 12-footer, that's gonna be amazing. It'll cool down that space nicely. And as I look around here, the views from the pasture lands, incredible. You've got these long views. You guys sited the house really well with this great room space in this spot.
That's one of the things. These are some Mastercraft doors that go sliders. And instead of having your conventional window frame, openings, we have all of these sliders, which you could easily just be part of the outdoor space here.
Heck yeah, incredible.
Bringing the outdoor in.
I love it. And then as we head this way, I'm guessing this is bedroom space down here?
Back this way, let me show you. We have 4 identical rooms down this hall space, and we're going to show you one of them, but they're all identical and they all have their own bathroom.
Oh man, that's great.
As well as outside access.
Oh, this is fabulous. So in other words, you've got a little suite for each one of the family members, so to speak. Bedroom space, gorgeous door to the outside so they could get up in the morning, have coffee out here. You put a barn door in so we can slide this over and get to the bathroom if somebody's still sleeping. These are amazing.
One of the things unique is there's a complete wraparound porch all the way around this property.
On all 4 sides.
And you got everything you need here with the whole vanity space, walk-in shower, as well as a full closet.
I love it, man. And that wraparound porch, from a design perspective, gives you and I a lot of forgiveness, right? Because now I don't worry about this door ever getting wet.
It does.
Because I got a 10 or 12 foot overhang on top of this door, which, not that we're gonna make a non-waterproof window and door, but it just means that this door doesn't get challenged, which is nice.
Yeah.
So I love that from a design perspective.
It's a lot better and easier on your energy efficiency.
That's right, yeah, because it's also in the shade too all the time. At my house, where I have 2-story portions when I built my house, anything that was on the 1-story portion, I put an awning over it, so I just have that extra forgiveness. And then as we head down the hallway, what are we hitting down here?
We got a utility room. It's kind of a main hub for connections right here.
No, this is great. Beautiful little spot. Washer and dryer.
There's going to be some locker spaces in here, maybe some storage into these lockers. We got a raised refrigerator space over here.
Yeah, I bet there's going to be some game in that freezer right there.
There's going to be something.
I'd be willing to bet. This is Texas.
Plenty of food storage, and there is as well a laundry space in here too.
And then what's beyond this door right here?
So we have, this is where it gets kind of interesting, because this is where some of the challenges were on this build. We had some special engineering we needed to do for structural as well, because we have a basement underneath a parking garage with a bunk space up above that.
Oh yeah, that is a little challenging, isn't it?
So we got a 3-story project there.
Well, let's start with the garage space and then we'll go up and down. So we'll meet you out in the garage as we go through this door.
So right in here, we have...
Man, this is a nice garage, Josh.
Kind of more of a typical garage for us, because we're used to doing these very large shops.
Yeah.
But here, because it was going to be a little more bite-sized, just this little, 3-car garage here.
Yeah, a little 3-car garage. What's up with the high gloss on your drywall here? This is really nice.
This is actually a truss core product that we're using.
Truss core.
So this is a PVC material. Works really well in place of drywall, if you'd like. It comes in 2 different products. So we've got the slat board and we've got the smooth lay.
Yeah, so that's the smooth, and then you got hooks and stuff and baskets you can put right on there.
It works with all your standard clamps.
I like it, but this really piques my interest as a big nerd. Look what you got down here. These are 2 Rheem heat pump water heaters. Look at those bad boys.
The Proterras.
I love it.
So
this is like maybe the 5th generation for Rheem. They've had these for a long time now. And so for people who are watching and don't know, these pull heat out of the garage and dump that heat into the tank. It's like a refrigerator that works in reverse, right? So these 2 units will keep this garage conditioned pretty well. But every time you open the garage door and the heat comes in, that's okay, because these will then suck that heat out, put it into the tank. And I love that you got 2, because now we could shut one off if we've got only a small amount of people in the house, or, oh, we got some friends coming, we can run both these units and have lots of standing hot water ready to go.
Or if one goes down.
That's right. We could turn the unit off, replace that unit in 10 or 15 years and still have one working.
Yeah, it has a great energy performance. It's more of a hybrid style.
Yeah, check this out, y'all. If you look at this energy guide label, this is for electric use over the course of a year for an average family. It goes from almost $500 to the lowest number on here is $121. And there's no arrow on here because this one uses less than the lowest possible scale on there. They're that efficient. So the entire year for a family that lives here full time would only use $120. So this is $10 a month to run the electricity for that. That's incredible.
It's pretty incredible.
Super, super efficient. Speaking of super efficient though, I'm excited to see the bunk room and the attic.
Yeah.
Can we go upstairs next?
I can't wait to show you.
All right, let's get up.
So Matt, we're going to look at the attic, but I want to show you these bunk rooms first.
Okay, sounds good.
Ken will be waiting on us. We have Ken Davis with Performance Air, but check this out. We have a
Full bath,
full bath, and a lot more.
Oh, you're not kidding about the bunk room. Wow, look at all these beds.
Yeah, I don't remember how many mattresses there are, but I want to say 20 something.
Oh my gosh, and 14 alone in this room is what I'm counting.
Yeah, lots.
That's incredible.
So
really nice. This is great space,
it's
man.
just part of the flexibility of what they're trying to accomplish. It's
Yeah.
just a lot of people, big gathering place.
Yeah.
So great for the family.
If you had grandkids or if you had a bunch of friends, maybe some hunters coming, this would be a great space for everybody to bunk out. But the attic, the best part of the video, y'all. Let's go to the attic.
Let's go to the attic.
This is the epic peak of the video for me, is getting to see this attic that I've been excited to see.
Yeah.
Oh, this is exactly what I wanted to see. Ken!
Hey,
Matt Rasinger, good to meet you, man.
it's good to meet you.
Oh my gosh, Ken, as I look around here, this makes me smile. This is a beautiful mechanical room right here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Also beautiful, and there's plenty of space. You actually had room to install some things, and there's room for service up here.
Absolutely.
So where do we start, Ken? Like, you want to talk about ERVs or dehumes, or do we talk about the sizing? There's so much to see in here.
Oh, there's a lot. I would say probably start with sizing, because
Okay.
that's where we start when we start a design.
Is your company doing the manual J's on this, or are you using an outside engineer on that?
Yeah, no, we did all of the manual JS, Ts, and Ts for this.
Fabulous.
For this job.
So this is not an easy house though to do a manual J on. I mean, there's a lot of volume here. You are wondering, like, what's the air tightness going to be? What's the level of insulation? What's that process look like for you?
Oh, well, it was quite time consuming.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we started out with like basically the overall layout and put it in some design software and start putting in a bunch of data.
Yep.
And
Are you using RightSoft?
yeah, we are
We're
using
getting a little nerdy
RightSoft.
here, sorry.
So we are using RightSoft to do this with.
Okay.
And that actually kind of does all of the pieces to a design.
So if someone's watching who doesn't know that, let me break that down real quick. What Ken's doing is modeling the house and saying, okay, we've got this amount of R value on the roof, we've got this amount of windows, we're facing this direction, we're in this climate that has this number of heating days and it gets this cold, so that when you see this big box right here that's attached to an outdoor unit, Ken's sizing that correctly rather than just going, oh, let's put 500 square feet to the ton in, right? Which is what happens most of the time in Texas. Did I explain that pretty well?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good explanation.
And because the house was pretty tight and pretty, you got a great, not pretty tight, extremely tight. This is a great envelope you're working with. Probably allowed you to size these loads differently than most Texas houses.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen similar size houses that have almost double the amount of air conditioning of what we put in here, and this thing pulls down without any struggle.
So for a car analogy, it'd be like running a 4-cylinder engine on your car versus a big V8, right? Because this house is so efficient, we can run the whole house on a 4-cylinder. But what I want to point out, Ken, that I really love is we've got separate things for different purposes, right? We have 2 dehumidifiers up here.
Correct.
We have 2 heat pumps. That's the big carrier boxes you're seeing. The Santa Fe's are dehumidifiers that are attached. And then we also have 2 fresh air dedicated units, one for the kind of people portion of the house and then one for the main space.
Correct.
Talk to me about sizing for all that different equipment.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot that kind of went into that. So I think, first of all, I'd like to tell you about the living room space. You saw how large that was?
Yep.
That was our challenging area of this house
Yeah.
because we had no real good way of putting duct in the house without it looking kind of bad.
Sure.
And so what we ended up having to do is it's called the manual T piece, right? That's the termination piece of the calculation. It's you can put the right size, but you have to make sure that it actually throws the air where it's supposed to throw it.
Makes sense.
And we had to pour through a ton of engineering data, which is why those boots are actually fairly small. It was actually designed to throw completely across the room.
Because you needed the velocity to push that air all the way across.
Exactly.
So as you look at that gable wall, which was kind of opposite to the fireplace in their room, we look up, we're seeing those vents across there. Those vents are meant to throw that air all the way across the room, right?
Yeah, and that was the one that, personally I was struggling and worrying about and finally kind of said, okay, you got to trust the math. And the math says this will work. The engineering data for all of that said this will work. But you always have that hesitation, that doubt in the back of your mind until you fire it up. And we were so pleased when it did what
Well, when Josh and I walked in that door, we could feel that air coming right at you.
Right in the face.
That felt great.
Yeah.
And then that's a big space in there too.
Yeah.
So these are heat pumps from Carrier, so they do both heating and cooling.
Correct.
But then on top of that, on each side, each unit here, you've got a Santa Fe 98H dehumidifier that's dedicated to just dehumidification. Talk us through that.
So dehumidifiers, there's actually quite a bit to install a dehumidifier.
Yeah, there is.
And we're fortunate that we do a lot of them. We probably average, 1 to 2 every week.
That's awesome.
And because of that, we've kind of learned a few things about how to put in dehumidifiers. And so there's a little bit more than what you can see. There's backdraft dampers in there. So
I figured.
We have a scooped collar system, so it kind of uses a Bernoulli's principle and creates a low pressure.
So what you can't see in there is that that's actually pushing the air towards the direction of the ductwork, right?
Yes, exactly. And then if you notice, like even on the ductwork, like the next duct that comes off is quite a bit of a distance that allows for some air mixing.
Smart.
So you don't just get dry air in one zone and nowhere else.
Super smart, man. I love it. And is there anything to sizing that you can give us tips on for those two 98Hs?
Yeah, so just like there's like a manual J for like a heat load, you can actually calculate a humidity load as well.
Is that right? Okay.
And it's a little bit harder to do because there's not good software to do it. You kind of have to go through and manually calculate it.
Okay.
But, we went through and these are just a little bit oversized for what we should need.
Smart.
And, with dehumidifiers are harder to oversize.
Right, it's not as much penalty.
Exactly. The thing that you really have to just factor in is can your ductwork handle the airflow?
Makes sense.
And so, we had to make sure that it would handle the airflow for the unit, the airflow for the ERV, and the airflow for the dehumidifier.
Yeah, makes sense. Ken, there is some really cool stuff happening with this ERV. Can we take a look at this?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so first off, the first thing that catches my eye is, I'm guessing this is a pre-filter. I took the screws off already to kind of pre-plan this. So this is filtering the incoming air before it gets to your ERV. This is genius. I love this.
Yeah, we found that if you don't put a pre-filter in, you're just constantly having to clean,
maintain.
The core. And this just makes life a lot simpler, helps keep the air cleaner, and we feel like it's a really good upgrade.
And that Fantech box, I really like it because it's got a 6-inch inlet outlet. So it's like made for this. It's perfect. But as that fresh air comes in, talk to me, is this green pipe distribution? What are we looking at here?
So this is actually the exhaust from, we're gonna call it the dirty areas of the house, right?
Okay.
So we got some over showers and toilets, and it's constantly pulling air. We pull about 25 CFM over a shower constantly, about 15 over toilets. So you'll never have smells, like you never have humidity issues. It's just
fresh.
Immediately taken out of it. It's exhausting in here and going outside, and then balanced incoming air comes in, filters, exchanges energy in the core. I know you've talked about ERVs a lot, and so it's a Brown AI series ERV, and then the fresh air comes back into the plenum of the air handler and then distributes out just little puffs of air throughout the house.
I love it. And then this rigid duct we're seeing right here is actually dumping the fresh air in to utilize the supply side of the air conditioning system. I mean, this is a really nice system because it feels to me like it balances really good performance, right? It's always sucking some air out and pushing some fresh air in, but it's also done in an economical way. So this is a great system. I'm super impressed. What is the name of this green piping though? I've never seen this before.
It's called Air Excellence System. It's by a company called Ubik out of Germany.
My guess is if I put my 150-pound frame on this, that I can't even crush it.
Yeah, you cannot.
Look at that. I'm putting all my weight on 1 foot and this pipe is not crushing. That is really impressive.
Yeah,
That's a cool product.
We're really happy with this product. This was the first house we used it in, and since then we've already put it in about 6 other houses.
Super impressive, man. Absolutely love it. So we talked about the 2 sides and the 2 units. I also want to mention that you've got a fresh air system that's dedicated like to the living quarters, but then you've got a separate fresh air for the main space. Anything I'm missing on this HVAC system that I didn't talk about or that we missed?
I mean, we've got separate dehumidification. We don't have it in now because we have to have internet to get it set up, but we will have a Haven system on each. And that's induct air monitoring, where it's monitoring VOCs, humidity, etc. And that will actually run, you know, the dehumidifier and kick on air handlers and some things like that.
Super cool.
Give you a good example. This happened in my house, you know, fairly recently. My wife burned some bacon. I probably shouldn't be saying this on camera. She burned some bacon, opened the oven door, this plume of smoke comes out. I kind of jokingly like, VOCs. And no sooner do we say that, I got this ding on my phone and it says the VOCs has suddenly risen in your house. And I show her, I'm like, see? And we're watching the VOCs rise. And then, you know, my air handler kicks on and starts filtering. The ERV kicks in boost mode automatically. And then within, you know, 2 minutes, you could already see all of that stuff coming back
Kicking back down.
And so the house
That's
automatically
really
responds to that. And that system's going in here, but we've got to get internet out here before we can
you do that.
install those pieces.
Now, I want to give you a compliment too. This ductwork out here is absolutely gorgeous. You're going to notice, guys, that we've got solid trunk lines insulated on the outside of the trunk, and then he's limited the amount of flex to, you know, maybe a dozen or so feet. And so like this trunk line right here, which is bringing AC, he's got a flex line here, which is bringing it down to this bedroom. And also he's supported this flex with this bend support right here. So you don't have any of this flex duct doing this, where air's trying to come around a big curve. Nice gentle curves everywhere, well supported. This is a good hybrid system. I'm really impressed. I think you've balanced not spending $5 million to build a killer HVAC system, but also using really good equipment. I mean, this is better than most $20 million houses I visit.
Oh, thank you.
It's really, really well done, Ken. Super impressive.
I think one of our things that we like to be able to do is bring high quality HVAC and bring good, clean, fresh air, but at a reasonable price that anybody can afford. I don't think you need to be a multimillionaire to be able to have good, high quality HVAC in your house.
Agreed. We're going to put a link to Ken's company in the description. If you're in the Dallas area, you should definitely give him a call. Very impressive. How about we go check out the basement next, Josh?
Yeah, let's show you guys that.
All right, we'll meet you down in the basement.
Okay, Matt, this is the last elevation change we're going to change today.
Man, you do not see a lot of basements in Texas, do you?
Yeah, but we've got more bunk rooms. We've got another full walk-through bathroom, as well as like a little kitchenette place.
Man, this little kitchen's great. And I noticed the doorway between kind of the main space and here, so you could close this off if you had guests or other people that were using this and other family members in the other part of the house.
Right, and in like fashion, we have another complete private access to the outside.
Oh, fabulous.
To the back porch.
And then I noticed 2 mini split heads, one just for the bedroom, and then one here. What are these guys?
This is Cooper and Hunter. This is mini split heads that we've been using for some time now. It's great company I've been working with, and it works well in a smaller space like this where we don't have the accessibility from attic areas.
And no need to run ducts, right? Because this is a big open space. So one head here, one in that bunk room, good to go. And these are a multi-split, so you have 2 heads, but then 1 outdoor compressor, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Super easy.
Yeah, it works really well.
Now that's not it for this project though, right?
That's not it, because it wouldn't be a Barndominium if I didn't give you a real barn. So we're going to show you what the Yellowstone Ranch TV show has inspired out here.
Oh, I like it. Let's go see the barn, y'all.
Check it out. So Matt couldn't bring you all this way and not see the barn.
It's
This is a
beautiful, man.
Barndominium.
It is a real barn, though. This is actually a barn that horses will be in, right?
That's right.
Oh, man. Look at this space, Josh. This is awesome.
So this is a gambrel style structure that we're using here, and gives us a little bit more of a height space on a particular profile like this.
A lot of flexibility too, because like you've got a loft here that looks like it's probably a tack room right now.
Yes.
But someday you want to remodel this and do something else, you could put a whole second floor on this, right?
This could have been a house.
Yeah, absolutely. Could have
Easily.
been. It's a pretty big footprint too. What's our rough footprint here?
40 by 80.
40 by 80. This is nice.
Not bad for a shabby little garage.
Not bad at all. And I'm seeing horse stalls, it looks like, that are about to be installed. All these doors are the kind for horses, right? So we can open the whole door. We can have a half open, so the door gives some light and some air for the horses, but the horses can't get out.
Yeah, the clients told me that his wife might have been watching Yellowstone a little bit too much.
Love it.
So this was a need. This was a real need out here on this project.
This is a fitting place to end this incredible video, man. I have loved touring with you. We've looked at only 2 of many, many houses. Josh builds a lot of barndominiums, a lot of beautiful projects. And by the way, Josh has an incredible YouTube channel and is on the TikToks and the Instagrams. We'll put a link to all those below so you can find them. But if you just look up Texas Best Barndominium, you can find them in almost all those locations. Josh, I can't thank you enough for touring me around these last 2 days.
It's our pleasure, dream come true for me.
It's been super fun, man. And this house in particular, or this barndominium, it is a house. Super, super well built. I mean, there's builders all over Texas that are going to be jealous of this high performance construction. I love it, man. I'm so thankful for the tour.
We're excited, and we appreciate all the inspiration as well along the way, and the job that our team has done here with Ken Davis and Performance Air. You know, you want to have a smart performance top structure, you got to hire the right people to do it.
And when you're building in hot Texas, you want a really good builder who pays attention to air sealing, that thinks about water, that's really doing a fabulous job on their air conditioning systems, and that's exactly what we saw in Josh Helm. Guys, super fun to tour with Josh. If you're not currently caught up on our Build Across America series, go back and watch those. That being said, Josh, you know how I close out all my videos, right?
Yeah.
We'll see you next time on The Build Show.